kind of far ahead, a little too close, but we should be able to see some things coming out here. Ideally, it's a top end speed thing, but he gets there, almost there. So initially, we're going to look at foot strike. Foot strike is pretty far out in front of his body, so that is going to push him into what we call a push run. He's actually not in a bad position there, but you can see a little bit lack of flexibility in the ankle. Then when he goes to drive, that's toe off. Knee should be under the butt. Again, it's not in a horrible position. Pretty good for someone his age. A good knee drive. But here again, you can see the foot is kind of out in front. This ankle loads up better than the right ankle. It's less than a 90-degree angle, whereas if we went back here, you can see this ankle kind of, the right ankle kind of stays locked at 90, and the left will load and bend, which is in a good position, which is why I think he's going to have the extended arm action coming from the right. Again, foot strike is out in front, but that's why there's that big push, and you can actually see the foot start to roll in here, and that's why he's got this drag across the right. So his push is going to be very rotational and not forward. And we see it from the front, we'll see it better. But you can see the drop in the shoulder, the elevated hip, the leg drop down here, the knee is below this knee, shoulders drop down as he drives through. He's got more stiffness on this left side where you can see the hips are even, shoulders are a little more even. But when we see him from the front, we're going to see what's going on here. I get him up to speed. So here's why he is losing all of his speed. This right foot is almost to the outside of the left of his body. You can see if I draw an arrow straight up from the heel, it's almost to the edge of his other side of the body. So he's constantly pulling across. Now he drives through, but again, you can see because the foot is on the wrong side of the body, when he pushes, it's actually going to push to the side, which causes all this rotation. And in the air, he is streamlined. One leg is directly in front of the other, which is a bad position because he's going to have to do crazy things to get his foot down in the right position. And again, you can see that the foot is not as bad as the other one, but his heel is underneath the knee of the swing leg knee. So he's running the tightrope, which is not a great position to be in. So he's going to need a lot of lateral hip strength so he can be much taller and not have this crossover position, which creates a ton of arm swing because the foot is in such a bad position. So remember, it's about the sum of where the push is. So he has to counter rotate and dip and do all these things. So when this foot pushes off, he is eventually going to go straight. It'd be fun to blindfold him to see where he actually goes when he loses his target, and you'll see him go all over the place. And again, foot's on the wrong side of the body. Body's got to rotate, so the end push is going to be everything takes you forward. See how streamlined he gets here? Almost too narrow. And then you can see the crash and collapse on this foot as it's coming across. So from the side, he looks decent, but from the front, and when we see it from the back, it's going to look just as bad when he goes away. You can see how he kind of wobbles. Shoulder collapse on the left, elevated on the right. Again, we're working for the sum of where the body's going to go. I mean, perfect scenario, there's 3 inches between where those legs would be at top end speed. Again, an elite sprinter is going to be more like 12 in the start, and you can see if I bring them back here, how narrow he is even when he accelerates. He's already in a position where he could possibly trip himself, or I'm going to guess that he kicks himself quite a bit. Acceleration from the side. We kind of saw it from the back how narrow he is, and that's going to be his major issue, or his major thing. We need to get the chest up a little bit more, so he's in a better push position. He's so bent forward, he displaces most of his weight forward, so he can't get a lot of power or else he'll fall. Not a lot of power coming off the ground. You can see as soon as that foot comes off the ground, the other one's on. So he's got to get a little more projection and extension pushing out. But again, I think the width and the lateral strength is going to have a huge impact on where that foot placement's going to be. And so we'll build a program with a lot of lateral strength stuff.